Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Time to Start Up, brought to you by WPI i3 Lab. And for those people who don't know what the i3 Lab is the Student Entrepreneurship Center at WPI, where we're helping people go from an idea to fully launching their startup. Today, I have a special guest. He is a Paraguayan social entrepreneur, an author, a politician. He was former chief of staff to Paraguay's president. He is known nationally and internationally for his Fundación Paraguay, a leading nonprofit and a micro-lending institution in Paraguay, and the creator of Poverty Spotlight, a poverty measurement tool and coaching methodology to help millions of people get out of poverty. On top of all, he's also a professor of social entrepreneurship and a social entrepreneur in residence here at WPI, and he joins every C term and teaches social entrepreneurship. So on top of all this, I'd like to call him Professor. One more thing. Last month, he met the Pope, so it's sort of my distinguished pleasure that he's agreed to be on a podcast with me. So it makes it a bit more difficult to interview him, but more fun too. Professor Martin Burt, welcome to Time to Start Up.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here at WPI. I've been associated with WPI for more than 12 years now, helping students embrace entrepreneurship and embrace social entrepreneurship, which is a way of identifying difficult social or environmental problems and finding the opportunity in that problem and coming up with a permanent, sustainable, and scalable solution. So many students at WPI are interested in filling their soul. Mm-hmm. They want a life with purpose, but they also need to fill their fridge. They also need to pay the student loan, and they also need to get a good mortgage. And so social entrepreneurship provides a platform so that students can make money and also solve heavy, difficult social or environmental problems.
So let me clarify one thing with you on that point. So entrepreneurship, everybody knows you go out and build something because you're passionate about building or making money or whatever drives you, mm-hmm. and you're trying to make the most money for the product and services possible, and then you split that with yourself, with your shareholders, you buy a yacht or whatever if you get there. How is social entrepreneurship different in that respect?
Well, social entrepreneurship is about resolving a problem. So the purpose is to find a double bottom line, that is financial and social, or a triple bottom line, financial, social, and environmental. The process of coming up with a new solution is the same as in commercial entrepreneurship, only that some problems require identifying what communities are suffering. For example, I can tell you a very famous social entrepreneur in India, mm-hmm. who started with a hospital with 11 beds and now has created the world's largest eye hospital.
Oh, wow.
So, and it's a social enterprise, and it addresses the problem of cataracts with low-income people. And he has a model by which for every one paying patient that they treat, they can take care of two non-paying patients. So there are many different ways of doing it, but I'm very fortunate to be able to be part of this community of social entrepreneurs from all over the world. There's a lot to learn, and it's a lot of admirably admirable people. And the beauty is to be able to share this with WPI students who are interested in applying their AI, robotics, drones, electrical engineering talent to address these problems, being it an energy problem or a vaccine distribution problem.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And this is wonderful. So, just so I can recap it, and maybe for our audience too, in the social enterprise, the aim is beyond money.
Right.
Is that
right?
Fair to assume?
Right. For example, microfinance, which is a methodology to bank the poor. By definition, for thousands of years, the poor, the illiterate, were not able to obtain a loan in order to buy merchandise, in order to start a business. They were excluded from the formal economy. Why? Because they are illiterate. Why? Because they don't have a credit score. Why? Because they have no guarantees. But yet they are hardworking people selling oranges,
right,
or whatever. So microfinance, that started about 50 years ago in the late 70s, developed ways of being able to provide $300 loans, $500 loans to ultra-poor, illiterate people. And the system has been so good that the delinquency rates of these people
is very low, right?
Is very low.
Yeah.
And so now, thanks to this innovation, more than 250 million previously unbanked people are now in the banking sector. And what? They can get loans, they can have deposits, they can have insurance, and the world of financial literacy is now open, because you can teach them how to save, you can teach them how to have a family budget, and you can help these families see themselves as part of the middle class. So this is entrepreneurial skills applied to a very complex social issue, and the results are extraordinary. So just like there are problems with unemployment, human trafficking, there are social entrepreneurs who are addressing and solving the problem of human trafficking that the police cannot do.
Right. Yeah, this is wonderful. So let me switch gears a little bit. So you started your organization, Fundación Paraguay, in 1985. You must have been, you're still a very young guy, but you must have been a super young guy. How one wakes up one morning and thinks, this is what I'm going to do.
Well, in my case, I was born and raised in Paraguay, part of a beautiful family of 6 children. I went to study to the United States, to California, and I studied public administration because I wanted to work in government reform. I was very, very lucky, and I found the love of my life in college. We got married.
Oh, wonderful.
And we returned to Paraguay, but because of the military dictatorship, I could not get any work in the government because my family was pro-democracy.
Oh, well.
And so I did not want to be part of the brain drain of my country, where educated young men and women have to leave the country because they cannot work in their own country. So together with a group of friends, we started the first development nonprofit organization, precisely to work in the area of microfinance. We started working with the street vendors. The secret police would follow us because we would create solidarity groups of women in the slums, and that was considered a Then after that, we developed youth entrepreneurship education programs for the children of the
So the people that were selling, let's say, fruit on the streets,
Right.
after you kind of helped them, then you started helping their children.
And
to
in
be
the
more literate.
in the public schools, incorporating financial literacy and entrepreneurship education. And then we got into rural education, agricultural education.
So let me, because you mentioned the dictatorship. So am I right in assuming that you started entering the public schools after the dictatorship, or
Yes, of course, of course.
Because that was-
during the dictatorship, everything was dark. There was a lot of persecution, a lot of deaths, a lot of imprisonment, a lot of exile, a lot of suffering. So, so then we started getting into agricultural education, and we developed a methodology by which education can pay for itself. Free, high-quality education for the poorest of the poor in an environment where, just like WPI, you have project-based learning, and the classrooms generate money, enough money to pay the professor. So you have a organic vegetable classroom, horticulture. The class does half 50% theory, the other percent they grow the vegetables in a real vegetable garden, and with the profit of the sale of the lettuce and the tomato and the onions, they have enough money to pay the professor.
wait? So what age do you start? This is very
15
interesting.
years old.
So if you're a 15-year-old,
A high school boy or girl.
first year of high school,
Yeah.
you could participate in this program.
No. This is mandatory in their school.
Oh, it's mandatory.
Yeah,
on the
well,
schools.
in our schools.
in
Yeah.
the schools
Yeah.
that
Yes.
they participate with your
Exactly.
programs, and then those schools can use the proceeds from the money that they make from the crops or whatever
Exactly.
they do. So that's wow.
So the school, one of the schools that we run, has 22 micro enterprises on campus run by teachers and students.
And the money goes to pay the
Yeah,
teachers,
because-
the facilities.
Exactly. So the school last year had sales for $1.1 million, profit for $350,000, and with that it paid the salary of 36 professors. By the way, that school, the Cerrito Agricultural High School, was also supported by WPI, with WPI IQP students.
Oh yeah, you mentioned
And
that.
also, WPI helped us get a U.S. government grant to improve our cheese factory. And so every year we receive so many WPI students who help us improve, and now we're doing drones, XRP robots,
For agriculture,
AI,
mainly, yeah.
exactly.
Oh wow,
exactly.
wonderful, wonderful. So have you? Because I'm stuck at this point of having these kids be entrepreneurs at that age, and not just the theory part, but they can see the fruits of their labor, and they can see the impact that they have on their work. Then having the professors paid once they graduate, do many of them go into starting their own enterprises?
They do. So basically, the traditional technical vocational education system was learning by doing, right? You go to classroom and then you practice. What we did was add selling and making money. So it's learning by doing, selling, and making money. And we discovered that the learning happens really in the selling.
In the selling.
When a 16-year-old girl who goes with 2 baskets of tomatoes and introduces herself to the manager of a supermarket and shows the manager, this is the type of tomatoes that we're producing, and they're clean and they're hard, and they say, okay.
And this is why you should buy from us, etc.
So they graduate not only from school, but they graduate from poverty into the middle class. They start dressing like middle class. They start talking like middle class. They start looking at you in the eye. And so we found a way of a system that is completely self-financing, income-generating, that can produce new entrepreneurial middle-class young professionals. Many go to their family farms. Many go on to college, and they learn that they can multiply times 10 the value of the cheese that they make and educate their mother.
Wow. This is very impactful. So, it's right to assume, from your experience then, to say that entrepreneurship is not just a California, Silicon Valley, high-tech startups, but entrepreneurship is at the core of lifting people out of poverty.
Well, of course. And entrepreneurship has many definitions. One that I really like is what entrepreneurs do is reorganize existing resources to release energy and value. For example, Henry Ford, the epitome and American entrepreneur, he did not invent the car.
Right.
He did not invent the assembly line. He did not invent black paint. But he combined these things and he produced a car in an assembly line that was 50 times more efficient than the previous building by group cars, but with the idea that the worker of the factory could afford the car that they were making. That's absolutely revolutionary. Yeah. In our lifetime, we have seen two concepts that were absolutely incompatible: the computer and the personal. And we have seen the creation of the personal computer. That is like saying an elephant that you can eat. It's impossible.
Yeah, it's taken for granted now, obviously. But
it's taken for granted, right. So we all have a cell phone and a computer in our pocket,
which is a huge machine in our pocket.
Exactly. So the same thing, if the same thing can be done to cure diseases, to resolve housing problems, to address a modern-day slavery, to address unnecessary blindness. It's the same type of concept. And at WPI, what we have is so much talent, so much expertise that WPI can become a leader in the world in social entrepreneurship, applying this talent not only to improve Tesla, which is a very beautiful thing.
It's fine.
But is to make sure that we can develop a methodology using AI and robots and drone to eliminate illiteracy in the world. Or, as I am working with a group of WPI faculty, graduate students, PhD students, I'm working in the project of eliminating poverty in the world in the short term. And so this is what it makes WPI so interesting for me.
Yeah, I agree with you on that point, because I see the students that are coming to us all the time, and it's tremendous talent.
Right.
I'm like, you guys can build anything, you can do stuff. It makes our job at the i3 Lab and at WPI so much easier to teach you the business mechanics, to teach you the other side of what are the steps of building your company, because you can go and do those things. And they're a driven bunch.
Right.
I don't know what it is about WPI, but they're tribal in a way.
It's beautiful. It's a small place. It's very personable. Professors are very open. And you can actually walk to any professor and says, I have this dream, and the professor is going to stop everything that she or he is doing to help you achieve your dream. It's
a beautiful, it's a good tribe. It's a good. So you're in 22 schools in Paraguay, or
No, well, we have reached every single public school
in Paraguay?
Yeah, but with our agricultural schools, we have 3 financially self-sufficient agricultural schools in Paraguay. They have been replicated in 29 countries.
Okay, so that
we
was
have-
my
so
other
we
question.
have,
So you're in 29 countries with your model.
with the model of education. We are in Tanzania, we have Brazil, Colombia, Central America. We're just with the agricultural schools, we have expanded a lot, but then they helped us go to our next social innovation, which is the poverty stoplight.
Right. So what is Poverty Stoplight? What does it do, and how does it help a poor family of 4, let's say, to analyze and figure out what they should do next?
Well, with the agricultural schools, we saw young boys and girls overcome poverty in spirit, in mentality, without money.
Okay.
So you see a
Let's
17
dissect this.
you see a 17-year-old girl who comes from an ultra poor
Family.
She already dresses as non-poor. She talks like non-poor. She thinks like a non-poor. And she is already working as a young professional, but she still has no money.
Okay, so how do you take... I want to stop a second on this bit. So how do you take a kid who's ultra poor, who comes from an ultra poor family, which rightly you assume that sort of that poverty mindset has also been instilled in them, that
Right.
we're not the same as those neighbors over there,
Right.
and they have more means, and we're the poor ones in their neighborhood, and we're never going to have good clothes and all that
Right.
stuff. How do you transform that person mentally?
By showing them how it's done, by showing them how to organize their day,
Okay.
by showing them how to run a proper chicken coop, by showing them how to run a proper vegetable garden, by showing them how to run a good honey operation, or by showing them how to run a proper cheese factory. You teach them the numbers, you teach them the process, you teach them the storage, you teach them the marketing, the supply chain, the introduction and conversations with the supermarket, and how and where to put your product, with what type of label, with what type of mold, in what part of the cheese corner in the supermarket. She does this for 3 years, alternating classroom, vegetable garden, classroom, cheese factory, classroom, chicken coop. By the time she graduates as a senior from high school, she has been through all these operations, and she starts identifying what she loves and what she prefers. Some people love animals. Some people prefer plants.
Right.
Some people prefer to run a little hotel. And that's how we do it. But basically, what you have in a poor country like Paraguay, you have that milk costs approximately $1 a liter. It takes 10 liters of milk to make 1 kilo of cheese. So you would say that it would cost, if 1 liter cost $1, then a cheese would cost $10 at minimum. Well, their mother sells the cheese at $3.
Oh, right. Because no math.
No math. She has no way of knowing how to package. She says, "Where am I gonna make a beautiful label,
Right.
etc." So we sell our cheese at $18.
And people buy it?
It's the finest cheese in the country, manufactured by students. And recently at a Latin American competition, we won the gold medal for the best blue cheese in all the Americas.
Wow.
So these are the ultra poor boys and girls beating the Argentinians, the Brazilians, the Chileans, the Colombians,
chefs,
who are so qualified.
the top-notch chefs of the...
Top-notch. So this has inspired us to question the way the governments, the World Bank, and the United Nations measure poverty. They think that poverty is lack of money, lack of housing, lack of education, lack of health. But we have seen, by asking the poor, what does it mean for you to be not poor? The poor tell us another thing. Oh, you have to have motivation. Oh, you have to have self-esteem. Oh, you have to control your emotions. And we said, excuse me, what is more important, drinking water or controlling your emotions? And all the time they're going to say, of course controlling your emotion is more important than drinking water.
Wow.
Exactly. So what we developed by asking the poor what it meant to be non-poor, we have a list of 50 things, of 50 indicators that the poor throughout the world have told us what it means to be not poor. And then we developed a self-assessment using an app that allows any poor family, because it has colors and images, to self-assess their level of poverty, whether they're green, yellow, or red, across 50 indicators, in 20 minutes.
Wait, so with this app, in 20 minutes, you
Any
can figure out...
illiterate family can create a dashboard, not an index that aggregates data for decision makers at the top, but a dashboard
that benefits them.
That disaggregates data for decision makers at the family household. And then the family can say, oh, look, out of 50 indicators, I have 30 greens. I'm doing well in many things. I have a few yellows and a few reds. And then we ask the families to take stock of their strengths and their weaknesses, and then to identify the 5 priorities. One family may decide, I want to increase my family income. Another family may decide, I want to improve our bathroom. Another family may decide, we need to build a second bedroom because the children are big now. And then, in every country, we create a solutions bank. How does a family in Sao Paulo get a wheelchair if they are ultra poor?
Okay,
there are
so
7 ways.
Bank?
A solutions bank is a collection of services, both provided by the government or the private sector, where you can access. If you don't have teeth and you identify that having teeth is a priority, we can show you in any community in the world 4 places where they can get free dental care. From the School of Dentistry, from the government, from different service providers.
The students, let's say, taking the dentist, the students that are trying to become dentists,
for example,
they're somewhat
decent. That happens everywhere in the world. So basically, you have here identification of what it means not poor by them,
by themselves, not dictated
by
some
top-down
government bureaucrat.
Exactly. Second is awareness. We all need, and the poor even more, need to become aware of where they are. They have to answer 2 questions. Why I don't have it, and what am I going to do to get it? And so identification, awareness, aspiration, and the solutions bank to help them with agency. Agency to answer, is it worth it? And can I do it? Is it worth it has to do with motivation.
Right.
And can I do it has to do with skills. So we have a methodology, and we started in Paraguay, and then it went to Brazil, and then it went to Colombia, and then it went to Mexico, and then it went to South Africa, and then it went to the United States and the United Kingdom. And we are in 14 states in the United States, working with in 700 counties.
You're in 700 counties
in the United
14
States,
in the U.S.
Yes,
helping people get out of poverty.
Helping people help themselves to get out of poverty.
All right, so that's even better. So helping people
help themselves. Yes, because people have to help themselves, or else it's dead weight.
I've met enough people going through poverty migrant workers, people from, all walks of life. And nobody, yes, they will take charity if they're, very deprived, because if you need to buy your child's medication, you will take it. But nobody really likes it.
Right.
Nobody, those people have as much and even more pride in themselves, in their life, in their household, in their family, that nobody wants to just live on charity.
Of course not. And
so
so
they want
the key, for
out.
example, with a food bank in Paraguay, we are asking the families that come to the food pantries to give us 5 minutes so that they can do a stoplight and find out why they are coming to the food pantry. And no, it is not because they don't have any food. Of course it is because that day they don't have food, but it is because they don't have anywhere to leave the children. Or is it they just lost their job? Or is it that they have no public transportation? Or there's a family violence situation
What's the underlying
Exactly. And so the idea would be for the food bank to help them graduate out of a food bank. The objective of the food bank should be to have a rotation system so that every 3 months it's a new group of families. But the old families don't come back because they have, and the food bank can have love and compassion there and help them see the solutions bank. There are ways. If you want to improve your standard of living, these are the 4 ways. If you want to learn how to save, if you want to learn how to budget, there are ways. The middle class knows it, but the poor people don't have access to that information, and sometimes they have been educated as like they are not worth it.
Right.
So most of the time it's a problem of lack of dignity. And so in order to help people overcome poverty, one has to also go and have them look into their own soul and find out, why is it that I do not feel that I have the dignity
to be able to
do it? And it's something that is very sad, but the good news is that there is a solution.
Right. So this is one of the most wonderful conversations that I've had around entrepreneurship, and especially around poverty and all of this. So to sort of to wrap it up for our students, we have, like we said before, amazing students, really cool, talented, working on cutting edge technologies. What is some message that, and some of them are working on entrepreneurial activities, and some of them are taking entrepreneurship classes, and some of them are working on to turn their projects, either MQP projects that they had or something that they came up with, into something to build a business or a company. What is Professor Burt's message to these students to keep an eye open for that social entrepreneurship side of it, for that impact in humanity, beyond the we're going to make a product, sell it to 50 people and make a buck or two?
I have seen people not finding their element. People need to find their element. As Sir Ken Robinson said in his book, you need to find the place where what you do well intersects with what you love to do. And in that space, time stops. You can be working on, oh my God, 4 hours I've been doing this? Wow. Is where what you love to do intersects with what you do well. Identify that, and then find how other people have monetized that skill. Number 2, identify your tribe. Who are the people who say, congratulations, I admire you so much, keep on doing, and not hang around people, even family members, who criticize you all the time. Oh, there you go again, the dreamer, the loser. You're embarking yourself in in a stupid no,
Just
no,
go
no.
get a job. Stop this. That type of. Right?
Surround yourself by people who support you, and steer away from people who criticize you all the time, because that sucks energy from it.
Yep.
Third, find the love of your life. Find the love of your life. You, as the Bible says, 2 is better than 1, because if one falls, the other one is there to pick him up. And way sad of those people that are alone and that fall and nobody picks them up. So find your tribe, find your element, find the love of your life, and have fun.
Right.
Have fun. I mean, if you're going to solve a problem like child hunger or modern day slavery or lack of housing for the homeless, have fun. Meet cool people. Go out to dinner. Share a pizza. And finally, ask for help. Ask for help. Everybody should know what your challenges are. Everybody should know, where am I going to get the funding? Where am I going to get the funding? Or how am I going to get this material? Or how am I going to combine a microphone with a computer? Ask for help. There are so many people wanting to help out there.
So on the helping point, I've always asked people when I meet them for the first time, usually everybody has a reason why they're reached out. And oftentimes, that's not always disclosed. And I straight up ask them, so now I want you to know, I want
You
to know, and I want you to tell me what your aim is.
Right. Right.
Because I need to know that if I can't help you directly,
Right.
down the road, a month from now, 2 months
Right.
from now, I might meet another person who might be helpful to you, but if you don't tell me now,
Exactly.
I'm not going to know.
Yeah. And finally, ask people how I can help you.
Yeah.
It's not about just hoarding resources. Are you useful to me? How can... No. Also, 50% for you. But also 50%, hey, how are you doing? How can I help you? And also dedicate your life to helping others.
And then
It's
it comes back to you.
But even if it doesn't, it's 50-50.
Yeah, it comes back in a different form.
Exactly.
It doesn't always
So-
come back from the same
but,
person.
But in
right?
any case, life is beautiful. There are so many cool people out there. 2 or 3 not cool people around, but
But
that's just
majority are nice people.
the majority
Yeah.
are nice people. And be nice to people. Say hello to people, And life is full of people who are doing great things. And again, social entrepreneurship is a beautiful way of combining your engineering talents from WPI with beautiful ways of changing the world. And as I mentioned, filling your soul, because a life without purpose is flat. But a life with purpose has color, has music, and has an expansive thing. And it can also generate money. There are social entrepreneurs who are making enough money to live in a very comfortable life, pay all their student loans, pay their mortgage, and be successful. So it does not have to be that if you want to work in a social area, you're condemned to be poor
forever.
because or else you're going to, after 2 or 3 years, you're going to drop it because...
Yeah. So my last question for you is, this been a wonderful conversation. Why do you meet the Pope?
because the Catholic Church has a mission to help one's brother, to help the poor. But they have a unit in the Vatican that's called the dicastery of integral human development. And so I'm working with a few bishops from around Latin America, trying to show them that new technology can overcome the charity that most of them do in order to do empowerment that the families can reach themselves. And sometimes they may not know the latest advances, so I always try to to show them what is possible. And we're working in Paraguay with programs or Parish Without Poverty, where the parishioners are also identifying who needs help and how can we help them, but not just giving them fish, but teaching them how to fish. Because if you give people a fish, they'll eat for a day, but if you teach them to fish, they'll eat for a lifetime. And I did not come up with that phrase.
So do you tell them that at the Vatican? you tell them, hey, I have a story.
They're
how
not
to teach people how to fish.
But they're very committed people, and I admire the Pope a lot.
So is the new Pope a cool guy?
I think so. Yeah,
Oh,
he lived in Peru, ate great food.
Right.
So he's Peru is famous
For good food.
for
It's
very
famous.
very good food, because they have so many cultures there
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
did a fusion. So yeah, and I'm just very very happy to be able to work with these friends at the Vatican to see if we can scale this program to all the countries of the world.
Martin Burt, Professor Martin Burt, thank you very much for being on the podcast. And I hope we've inspired a few people today.